This is JordanTower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe, and let's get right into the news. All right, so we got Jim and Chrissy. Now, the last show they had was Vow or Never. It looks like Jim Jones. Oh, the whole thing is like, think about this. Love and Hip Hop started with Jim Jones and Chrissy doing something with Mona Scott in the beginning, right? And then it turned into... They left the show because they had a big blow up, and then he says he started that. But, like, it was his fault for never making himself, like, owner of the show or the concept, you know? So he kind of, like, came up with that with her, but, like, he never got credit for the show because he doesn't do good business. There's a history of him not doing good business, okay? So then he did Jim and Chrissy Vow or Never on another network, still got shafted on that. And now he's trying to go to Zeus and do another show because rap just isn't working for Jim Jones anymore. That's why he's doing podcasting now. And he's also with the pod crew he created now because he didn't want to do it himself. He's poisoning them all to go against Max B. He says, hey, Max B comes home soon. If you mess with me, don't mess with Max B. And this goes for Fabulous, Dave East, and Mano. You have to be loyal to him, which, I'm going to be honest, is crazy. Because it's like, you know, like Jim Jones is the most disloyal person ever. I mean, he's part of the... A good reason why he's a good reason why Dipset got as big as it did, and the reason why it broke up at the same time. You know, what Dipset never had was a glue to mediate situations. You know, it was like high school. If you were inside and dealt with a lot of Dipset members, you'd see they all talked about each other. And nobody mediated situations, and nobody was really acting as the leader. Cameron was the biggest rapper. And Jim Jones, for a while, acted as a leader and then wanted to be a rapper himself because that's where the money is. But it never actually had someone that could, you know, reason with Cameron and Jim Jones and make sure everybody is happy and stays together, you know. But that's some New York stuff for you. I'm going to be honest with you. That's what happened. Even 50 Cent couldn't really keep everybody together. You know, Lloyd Banks felt away. Tony Yayo even felt away at one point. Don't think that Tony Yayo is the most loyalist person ever. He is. But there was a point in 2013 where he was going against 50 Cent. He just didn't publicly do interviews against him and everything. He kind of let things work themselves out behind the scenes. Plus, Tony Yayo, out of everybody, is the one that's been around him the longest and can get away with the most. You know, so it is what it is. Shaggy loads up his private jet and brings supplies to Jamaica. Sean Paul does a give. You know, he starts raising money for Jamaica. Spice organizing things for Jamaica. These are artists that are, you know, giving back. The Marleys, haven't heard a word. Haven't heard anything from Vybz Kartel, who's making millions of dollars on the road. And, you know, you do have to help your country out because especially in a country like Jamaica. Not for Shaggy per se, but still he does show love. But like a lot of stuff starts at home in Jamaica. Like these people start making money at home. Like talking about Vybz Kartel, Spice, Shenseea. You know, then you make the big bucks once you leave the island, you know, and start traveling around other islands and going to UK and stuff like that. Yes, but it starts at home. And a lot of these guys like, you know, Sean Paul and everybody, even, you know, Shaggy, most of his journey was in the U.S., it seems. But I like that he's giving back. You know, he's doing as much as he can. He's buying as much as he can and putting it on a jet. You can only load so much on a private jet, but going by sea, loading up a container would take a week to get there. And he's trying to get some, I'm sure he's doing that too. But in the meantime, while a ship gets there, you have to, there's emergencies going on. You know, people need water. All this kind of stuff that he's loading on. So that's great. Buckingham Palace has announced that Andrew will be stripped of all remaining titles and evicted from royal residence. This is because of his relationship with Epstein. Yeah. Dame Dash reacts to Jim Jones saying he would give him $1 million deal. I forgot to mention this part about it. We already talked about this the other day, but he also punched Lenny S in the face, which is Jay-Z's right-hand man, right? Jay-Z, he says, you could see how much of a boss Dame Dash wasn't. On all his interviews now, he's like, I had to get permission from Jay-Z. I had to get permission from this person. So you weren't a real boss. He preaches being a boss, but he was never a real boss. He was more of a project manager. He wasn't a real boss, right? Bosses call shots. Bosses don't have to ask another man's permission. These are Dame Dash's words used against him. Yeah, Jay-Z wouldn't approve of that because he punched Lenny S in the face. Yeah, Jim Jones was a hothead. Jim Jones tricks himself out of positions daily. So Lil Wayne didn't show up to the Verzuz. Charlemagne comments on this and says, Turk tries to put this thing out there that Lil Wayne didn't show up because he wouldn't show up and everybody has to show up. That's not true. Lil Wayne it does not get along with Birdman like you think he does anymore. You know, we already determined that. We talked about this. He said he was going to show up, but didn't show up. You know, he canceled the last minute. Probably because he's big enough. Well, first of all, he's big enough to have his own verses. Second of all, something was off. He was probably promised something that didn't happen. They probably had to fly him in, right? He's not going to pay for himself to fly in. Because why should he? Why should he pay for himself to fly in? Birdman wouldn't even give him the money he was owed. The old Lil Wayne would have flown in on his own dollar, right? But once you realize that, you know, these people don't have your best interest like you have their best interest, you move differently. And Turk's still talking about this, that, yo, I'm the only one that'll speak to Birdman crazy. Nobody else will keep it real with him. Bro, you're not standing for anything. BG said it best, okay? And listen, I have nothing against Turk, but Turk is the one that you won't miss at a reunion. You'd like to see everybody together. I would like to see everybody together. But it's not a big deal if he's not there. It's not a deal breaker. It's not like, oh, but Lil Wayne not being there made no Cash Money lose the battle. Even No Limit had Snoop Dogg, who was only there for a year or two. Let's be real. Oh, this is Sean Paul. He's, raising money for Jamaica, and he has his own foundation, so I'm sure he's putting his own money up. Drake officially reopens the case against Kendrick Lamar. He appeals it, so that's happening. Lil Durk has a snitch. Witness claiming that Durk put money on 6 different people, not just that one person. And the same confidential witness was telling about alleged shootings and other acts OTF members committed. All right. David Benton, a.k.a. King Von, affidavit further disclosed CW1 knew that defendant Banks placed other money bounties on other members with whom defendant Banks was fueling, including 6 other individuals. The affidavit also listed significant evidence corroborating CW1's account. Confidential witness 1 of defendant Banks involved SRs, flight records, associates. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe they didn't care about having all the text records because it was like, we got them. Maybe they got them. I don't know. Debate over naming Jay-Z. Oh yeah, people were saying they can't name 5 Jay-Z songs. Come on, man. I mean, you can't strip Jay-Z of what he's done. You know. Someone made a good point. The person that could touch the stage and give Jay-Z a real run for his money is Drake. That's a fact. That's a fact. Drake versus Jay-Z would be a great versus. They just couldn't pay these 2 enough. Why would they do it? What's the benefit? There is no benefit. These 2 are just dominating still. So it's like, you're never going to see that. This is funny. Rick Ross's baby mom said, stop. I don't know. Rick Ross is friends with his dentist, so he got diamond veneers now. He ripped out his old veneers and put in new ones. This guy's going to have no teeth soon. He's going to be wearing dentures because you can't keep messing with your gums like that. So she's like, stop sending me them diamond cut veneers. She's funny. Watch.
Why y'all keep sending me this video of this fat funky bitch with these diamond porcelains or something? That bitch need to go get his shit done every year if you ask me. Don't send me a motherfucking thing, because the Colombians ain't good snatching it up and down in my motherfucking mouth no more. They think they gonna maintenance these hoes and replace whatever I crack and break with a crab leg or a candy apple or some shit like that. Other than that, I ain't going to get all that new tech ass shit. I don't know that lab made shit. Shut up. Stop sending me shit with a fuck nigga mouth by the fuck nigga funky ass mouth. Nigga need that shit done every year. Shit, the fuck? Don't fucking play with me, all right? Stop sending me a bitch that I don't fuck with. That's another thing. Ho, if you send me any fuck nigga that's the ops, I'ma block your bitch ass.
Yo, raw. She's raw, bro. That's all I can say. Yo, the diamond tooth thing is trash. You're supposed to look natural. Now you're just looking like a robot. Robot mouth. This is JordanTower with JT News. Appreciate you all. I'll check you guys in the next one. Smash that like button for me.